good evening and welcome. Tonight we're going to be continuing our exploration of this book, History of the World, Map by Map. And I am filming this early in the morning. The birds are awake, so enjoy the little bird song in the background. So where we left off in this book, let's see, we are on I think we did that one, the Mesopotamia. Yes, it's in Egypt. And we left off that one. We left off here. The ancient Levant. So let me swing this map over and we'll explore it together. So it looks like, and if you haven't seen any videos in this series, I have not read any of this, gone through any of it, so I'm just totally winging this video series. It makes it a little fun, because the rest, spoiler alert, I don't wing. Also, sorry for the wobbles. My desk is extra wobbly today. I don't know why. I've actually made it less wobbly before filming this, and it's still really wobbly. But anyway, let's see. Starting with Israel and Judah, circa 1020 to 926 BCE. According to Judeo-Christian tradition, Saul founded the Kingdom of Israel, and Bible scholars put this date at around 1020 BCE. The kingdom reached its greatest extent under King David, but split into Israel and Judah in 926 BCE. So the red is Israel and Judah. Here's Israel. Here's Judah. Conquered kingdom. So up here that looks like Aram Zobah, Aram Damascus, Ammon, Moab, and Edom. And the blues are the vassal states. So Aram in Syria, vassal state. Boundary of King David's kingdom is in pink, down here. And Judah-Israel boundary from 926 BCE is this line here. Okay, interesting. Oh, I see. That's Israel, that's Judah. Alright, next books. It says, Assyrian conquest, 722 to 701 BCE. There are non-biblical Assyrian sources for events when the Assyrian Empire conquered Israel and took over Judah as a vassal state. Jewish tradition tells us 10 of the fabled 12 tribes of Israel were dispersed, assimilated, enslaved, or otherwise lost. Assyrian records support that deportation as a means of subjugation was carried out. Israel became a province of Assyria. Judah survived with the 2 remaining tribes. So let's see. Assyrian victory, Assyrian siege. I don't see anything on the map that does it. Oh, there they are. There's Assyrian victory there at Samaria. At least that's how we say it today, I suppose. And then a siege here at Lachish. Not sure. Big battles. Then we have Babylon and Persia, 586 to 539 BCE. The Bible tells the story of the exile of the Israelites in Babylon. We have good independent sources for a deportation of prominent inhabitants of Judah to Mesopotamia and modern Iraq by the Babylonian king Nebuchadnezzar II. When allowed to return by Cyrus the Great, however, many had become prosperous and settled in exile and stayed where they were. This was the beginning of the worldwide Jewish diaspora. So up here is the migration of the Jewish people up that way, traveling through Judah north. Then we have another map here of the Roman times. It says Roman rule 63 BCE to 66 CE. Judea was conquered by Rome. Until then, it was a kingdom that won its independence from the Hellenistic or Greek Seleucid Empire set up by Alexander the Great. which crumbled in 110 BCE. The Romans set up Judea as a client state. Herod the Great assumed the throne as Rome's vassal in 40 BCE and proceeded to extend his kingdom. So the black lights? Don't see any black lights, do you? Anyway, that's the frontier of Roman Empire and client states. Okay, but the green is the kingdom of Herod. So, I assume that's all this here, and all this up here. Aha, I found the black line right here. That was their cutoff there. I guess this was the Roman province of Judea here. What was happening here? I wonder if that's just mountains. Let's see what happens next. Jewish revolt, 66 to 74 BCE. No, sorry, CE. 66, 74 CE. A series of Jewish revolts against Rome resulted in the dispersal of the Jewish people. The first involved the destruction and looting of the Temple of Jerusalem, remembered in Rome as a relief on the Arch of Titus, showing Roman soldiers carrying off a menorah. The event is mourned by Jewish people on the saddest day of their calendar, the fast day Tisha B'Av. I'm not Jewish or speak Hebrew, so I'm not sure if I pronounce that right. But let's see this, I guess, siege, right? Attacks from the Romans. You can see the army of Vespasian this way attacking cities there, and the armies of Titus came this way to Jerusalem and then branched out from there. The army of Bassus and Silva are the big dots. Do you see any big dots? Did I get this wrong? Anyway, sieges obviously in Jerusalem, but also up here in, what is that? Jotapata. And a Jewish victory here at Beth Horon. And the area of the major revolt in 66 CE looks like it was up here and all down here. And the revolt in 69 CE was just here in like the Jerusalem, Bethlehem area. I realized we didn't read all the little things over there, so we'll go back after this box. And then we have Syria, Palestina, 132, 135 CE. I haven't heard of this before. The Bar Kokhba revolt, 70 years after the Masada incident, was crushed even more severely. Jerusalem was destroyed and the Jewish people banished, accelerating their dispersal both through the Roman Empire and to established centers in Mesopotamia. Judea was renamed and merged with Roman Syria by the victorious Roman Emperor Hadrian to the Syria Palestina. So that's where that revolt happened there in Jerusalem. Really, like, kind of bloody time in the history of this area, right? I think it'll talk more about Masada over here, because that was like the big one that I know of. So let's go back in time real quick to read about the Old Testament Levant. My apologies for skipping so much. I got too excited to look at the next map. The Old Testament of the Hebrew Bible records the story of Israel and Judah, but at times supporting archaeological or historical evidence is lacking. From the 8th century BCE onward, however, historians can turn to independent sources from Assyria, Babylon, and Persia, successive conquerors of the region. It says right here, in 586 BCE, Israelites are deported from Jerusalem to Babylonia in southern Mesopotamia by Nebuchadnezzar II, after he conquers the city while expanding his Neo-Babylonian Empire. Did I have a pencil last time I filmed these videos? I'm going to grab a pencil because these are really tiny. Here we go. Oop. Sure, there we go. Okay. Make it a little easier to read, I think. Circa 1000 BCE, King David, Saul's successor, beats the Philistines and extends the Israelite kingdom. He makes Jerusalem his capital. And here in Hebron, circa 1006 BCE, David is anointed as king. What's up here? In Samaria, 722 BCE, Samaria, or I guess Shechem, as it was called then. Then the capital of Israel is destroyed by Sargon II of Assyria. Israel becomes an Assyrian province. And in Lachish, 701 BCE, Assyrians invade Judah and win famous victory at the siege of Lachish. I think that's how you pronounce that. Again, I don't know Hebrew. Up here in 539 BCE, the Israelites living in Babylonia are permitted to return by Cyrus the Great of Persia after he conquers Babylon. And then what's happening up here, circa 112 to 1000 BCE? The Peleset, or Philistines in the Bible, settle here. They were one of many sea peoples who overran the established kingdoms at the end of the Bronze Age. One of the mysterious sea peoples, right? We're not quite sure exactly what was happening with the sea peoples. Alright, on to the map of Roman rule and revolt. It says, in the time of the biblical New Testament, the central parts of Israel and Judah had become the Roman province of Judea. Revolts against Rome by the people, now known as Jews, resulted in their expulsion and resettlement in Egypt, Babylonia, and throughout the Roman Empire. Let's just go north to south. Up in this area, 40 BCE to 4 BCE, the kingdom of Herod the Great, although he is a vassal of Rome, extends beyond Roman Judea. My chair is squeaking. Anyway, in Samaria, 64 BCE, Roman Judea included regions such as Samaria and Galilee. Both were within the ancient kingdom of Israel and later independent Judea. 66 to 69 CE, Jewish revolt suppressed by army of Roman Emperor Vespasian, right there. And in Jerusalem in 70 CE, after breaking the siege of Jerusalem, the army of Roman Emperor Titus destroys and loots the Jewish temple. Titus establishes the Roman province of Judea. And here in 135 CE is the Bar Kokhba revolt that is crushed. Jerusalem is destroyed and Jews banished. And here is Masada. 71 to 74 CE. Make sure that it is on camera. There we go. Die-hard Jewish rebels pursued by Roman leaders Bassus and Silva take refuge in the rock fortress of Masada and commit mass unaliving rather than submit to Rome. So, my goodness, do you hear how loud my chair is? Anyway, so I'm guessing that the army of Bassus and Silva is this, and then these, the armies of Titus. It makes a lot more sense once you actually read the things. And then here's a little coin. It says the Sestertius of Emperor Vespasian. I don't know what that word means. Shows one Jew sitting on another Jew with his hands tied, reminding all Judean citizens who carried it of their subservience to Rome. Pretty vicious, but it was Roman times. That's just kind of what they did, to be honest. Let's move a little further east into Assyria and Babylonia at this time. Starting with, looks like boxes here. Box 1 is here. Ashur, city of the god Ashur, 2000 to 614 BCE. This city was the site of the god Ashur's only temple. An influential city-state in the early 12th millennium BCE, it was integrated into the northern Mesopotamian kingdom formed by Shamshi-Adad. He was reviled as an unlawful conqueror. But 500 years later, when Ashur was the heart of an expanding kingdom, the Assyrians claimed Shamshi-Adad as an ancestor of their royal house. And there's Ashur right there on the Tigris River. Number 2 up here, make sure you can see it okay, is Babylon, city of the god Marduk, 712 BCE to 500 CE. The ancient city first came to prominence as the capital of the kingdom of King Hammurabi. Home to the god Marduk's temple, Babylon was later closely associated with the kingship over all of Babylonia, or southern Mesopotamia. In the first millennium BCE, the title of King of Babylon was coveted by every ruler who sought to control that region, including the Assyrian and later the Persian and Seleucid kings. And there is Babylonia, right there. And moving on to box number 3, Assyria becomes an empire, 883 to 859 BCE. Ashur was the Assyrian capital until King Ashurbanipal II transformed his realm from kingdom to empire. In 859 BCE, he moved the court to Kalu, which is Nimrud. The new capital was designed to put the ruler, rather than the god Ashur, center stage as the master of the world. This was also the case for the later, even bigger capital cities of Dur-Sharkin, or Khorsabad, founded by Sargon II, and Nineveh, transformed by Sennacherib. So the orange here is the extent of the Assyrian Empire within the region of Mesopotamia. Then we're going to see the height of Assyrian power from 680 to 630 BCE. In the 7th century BCE, the directly administered territories reached their largest extent under King Esarhaddon. His son Ashurbanipal did not expand these provinces, but greatly increased dominion over directly controlled states, such as Egypt and Elam. After his death, succession wars plagued the royal house. Babylonia and the Medes broke free and captured Ashur in 614 BCE and the capital Nineveh in 612 BCE. So all the orange here is how far the extent of the empire reached before. It sounds like it all kind of fell apart, right? Then we have the Babylonian Empire, 626 to 539 BCE. In the wars marking the collapse of the Assyrian Empire, Nabopolassar and his son Nebuchadnezzar II forged the Babylonian Empire. The goal to control the caravan routes across the Arabian desert led to the conquest of Judah and long wars against Arab tribes. Before these plans came to fruition, the people of Babylon turned against the last king, Nabonidus, and hailed Cyrus of Persia as the new king of Babylon, ending Babylonian independence. And here in the blue you can see the extent of the reach of that empire, kind of extending much further south into the desert and a little bit farther into Anatolia. And oh, that looks like the last box on this page. So let's explore all the little things over here. Let's head over to Memphis in Egypt. I see a little thing there. It says 671 BCE. Assyrian king Esarhaddon captures Memphis and rules Egypt through native princes. Up here in Jerusalem, 586 BCE, when Nebuchadnezzar II conquers Jerusalem, the temple of Yahweh is destroyed and the people taken to Babylonia. In Tyre, from circa 900 BCE, the port of Tyre is a key link in the trade between the Middle Eastern empires and the Mediterranean, controlling the shipping routes from Cyprus to southern Spain. Then let's head into the heart of ancient Babylon here, Mesopotamia. Carchemish. Haven't heard of that one. 605, right? 605 BCE. At Carchemish, Babylonian forces defeat the combined armies of Assyria and its ally Egypt, ending centuries of Assyrian power. Down here in Dorsharkan, in 706 BCE, Sargon II moves the royal court and central administration to a new capital, an ideal city created on the drawing board that shared his name, Fortress of Sharkin. Sargon's the biblical spelling. How interesting. Like, probably the first planned capital city, right? That's pretty interesting. Then over here in Ur, 556 to 539 BCE, a usurper, Nabonidus, seeks to legitimize his rule as Babylonian emperor by resurrecting ancient royal traditions, such as appointing his daughter the consort of the moon god of Ur. The city of Ur was even more ancient than Ashur or Babylon, and as such was revered. Then over in Susa, in 648 BCE, the capital of the kingdom of Elam is conquered by Assyrian forces. An ancient stele with Hammurabi's laws, brought here in the 12th century BCE, survives the assault intact, which is the Code of Hammurabi. Let's see, we've got a cool winged creature here, Palace Guardian. Since Ashurbanipal, I haven't been reading this right. Ashurnarsirpal. I just assumed I've always known him as Ashurbanipal. Oh, Ashurnarsirpal II built his new palace at Kalu, Nimrud. Giant statues of divine guardians protected the gates of Assyrian royal palaces. The so-called Yamasu have a human head, the body of either a bull or a lion, often partially covered with fish scales, and eagle's wings. They correspond to the biblical cherubim. This one is a copy from Sargon II's throne room at Dur-Sharkin. Pretty interesting. Very Mesopotamian looking. It's very cool. Learned a lot on that map. Now we're going to look at the rise of the Persian Empire. Let's see, where do we start on this map? Down here, actually. There we go. It says Cyrus the Great and his conquests from 550 to 530 BCE. Born around 580 BCE, Cyrus II, or Cyrus the Great, succeeded his father Cambyses I as king of Persia in 559 BCE. In a span of just 20 years, he cast off the yoke of the Median Empire, a victory that won him both territory and vassals. He then conquered Lydia and Babylonia, together with much of Central Asia, to create a vast empire. Cyrus is thought to have died in battle around 530 BCE. So the Persian homeland before Cyrus, or under Cyrus before 550, was just here. Centered, you can see Persepolis, Pasargadae. Then the Median Empire annexed in 550 is all this orange over here, stretching really far. Kingdom of Lydia annexed circa 547 is the orange right here. And then the Babylonian Empire annexed 535 BCE. Oh no, that's the Babylonian Empire. Wait, then where's... Hello, I just had a coughing fit, so I've got a little cough drop here. Don't mind me if I pop a cough drop in my mouth. It's just gonna help me out. There we go. Okay. So I got that backwards. Lydia was up here. It even says there Lydia. And then Mesopotamia's over here. Cyrus's major campaigns going all the way through here to Sardis. And then all the way up here. Goodness, that's so far. India's over here. India to Macedonia. Pretty extensive empire, right? Especially for those days. Number 2, Cambyses II and the conquest of Egypt. 529 to 522 BCE. The conquest of Egypt became the goal of Cyrus's successor, Cambyses II. To do so, he made alliances with Arabian leaders and gained the support of the Greeks, who had formerly been allies of Egypt. Cambyses defeated Egypt at Pelusium in 525 BCE. However, his troops were unable to cross the desert to Sudan, so he failed to make conquests farther south. So it looks like he got all the way this far, and all the way down here, but I guess he wanted to go further this way. Too bad, I guess. And the major campaigns all the way from the heart of Persia down to Memphis, down the Nile River, then up to the Mediterranean coast there. And battles with dates. I don't see them. I guess we'll find them as we explore the map. I don't see it along this route. I see that one, but I'm not sure that's the right color. Is it? Yeah, no. Okay. I guess we'll find it later. I'll be on the lookout. Next box, the Empire under Darius I, 522 to 486 BCE. Darius ascended to the throne in 522 BCE and carried out many reforms. He introduced a new monetary system, adopted Aramaic as the administrative language, and organized the empire into provinces under governors or satraps. Darius built canals and roads, including the famous Royal Road linking Susa to Assyria and Anatolia. He erected monuments and temples, and he built royal palaces in the cities of Susa and Persepolis. So here's the very famous Royal Road that went from the capital Susa, went through Nineveh, looks like, all the way up here. And it was kind of the first, I guess, messenger trail in history. Like the Incas had a famous road. Yeah, just famous, messenger roads that went across huge swaths of land, right? The very first one, built so long ago. I was like, what was the American one? It was the Pony Express, that's what it was. Then we have the campaigns of Darius I, 516 to 513 BCE. In 516 BCE, Darius I began a military campaign in Central Asia that took him through Bactria and Gandhara. From here, he conquered the lands by the Indus River and engaged the Greek explorer Scylax of Karyonda to survey the Indian Ocean. I've never heard of that guy. Darius fought campaigns to stamp out a series of revolts across the empire, most notably in Babylonia and in Scythia, which is in Eastern Europe, where he asserted Persian dominance before beginning his attempted conquest of Greece. So major campaigns of Darius, there's one up there. I guess that's to Scythia, right? He went over here for a little bit, and then heading into the Indian subcontinent to explore and conquer the area there. And then we have the very famous Greek Wars, 492 to 479 BCE. And Darius I, angered by Athenian support for revolts against the Persian Empire, vowed to take the whole of Greece. But his army of 20,000 was defeated at Marathon by the Athenian-led force. After Darius' death in 486 BCE, his successor Xerxes tried again to conquer Greece. He took control of the mainland north of Corinth and destroyed Athens, but withdrew most of his army after losing the Battle of Salamis in 480 BCE. Very famous moment in Greek history. Kind of a point of pride, right? The Persian campaigns, sea battles, land invasions, and then so many battles. Look at all of them. Thermopylae, the famous one from, if you've seen the movie 300, that's the Battle of Thermopylae. Marathon, Athens, Salamis is a big one. Right there. I assume. I still haven't found that battle. But let's explore the map a little bit more. Let's start over here in the Mediterranean. So up here in Miletus, 494 BCE, an uprising against Persian rule is quelled at the siege of Miletus. And up in Sardis in 547 BCE, Cyrus captures the Lydian capital Sardis, and circa 500 BCE, the Persian Empire, the Persian Railroad, is completed. I got Cyprus too. I didn't notice that till just now. Let's see, over in Thermopylae, 480 BCE. A small Greek force resists the Persian army at Thermopylae, but is eventually overcome. Athens falls soon afterward. And this is the path Darius I in 492 BCE when he invaded Macedonia up here. This is, 513 BCE, Darius I invading Scythia. What else do we have? Oh, did we find the battle? I don't know. 547? Nope, that's still not it. 547. Cyrus defeats the Lydian king Croesus. Yeah, that's Cyrus. Not... Oh yeah, that's in the bottom box down there. What else do we have? Over in Babylon. 539 BCE, Cyrus takes Babylon. He soon allows Israelites exiled from Jerusalem to return home. We've learned like 30 times so far in this book, but that's okay. Big moment in history. It's Susa, 522 BCE. Once the capital city of Elam, Susa becomes an important Persian administrative center. That kind of puts this map into perspective, right? Because we just looked at like Mesopotamia and Babylon and Assyria, which was just here. This was like the gray area. Now we're way expanded, right? That's pretty cool. 550 BCE in Pasargadae, Cyrus defeats his maternal grandfather Astyages, king of the Medes, fought his grandpa. And also here in 546 BCE, the construction of Pasargadae begins. It becomes the capital of Cyrus's empire. And here's Persepolis, circa 520 BCE. Darius I orders work to start on a new capital city, Persepolis. Another planned capital city. I never thought of it that way. And we have one more over here. Oh no, there's two more. 515 BCE, Darius I conquers the Indus Valley region. And a year before, in 516 BCE, Darius I reaches Gandhara in the northern reaches of the Indus River. Oh, there's one more. The map that just keeps on giving. In circa 530 BCE, Cyrus is defeated against the... What does that say? The Massagetæ. Killed up here. Interesting. And lastly, we have this really cute chariot. These cute little guys. It says an Oxus treasure. This model of a gold chariot was part of a find of Persian metalwork near the river Oxus in modern Afghanistan, which was up here, right? We were just looking at it. Dating back to the 5th century BCE, it shows the refinement of Persian art and technology. That is very intricate, isn't it? Lots of inlays and everything. Very, very neat. Now we're going to go to the other side of the globe, it looks like, to the first cities in the Americas. Very exciting. So let's start over here with the Olmecs, 1500 BCE to 400 BCE. The Olmecs are known for their monumental earth platforms and mounds, fine jade artifacts, and giant head sculptures. Yeah, that's like, when I think Olmec, I think giant heads, right? Archaeological evidence suggests that the Olmecs created the first writing system and calendar in Mesopotamia. From their heartland in San Lorenzo, they traded widely into western Mexico and established trade relations with many Maya sites along the southern coast. So this is where the Olmecs lived. Lots of Olmec sites in there. Their trade routes went all over the place. Look how far they traded. My goodness. My goodness, look how far they traded. All over the place. And there's the big famous settlements. Laguna de los Cerros, San Lorenzo, and La Venta. And then the early Maya, 1000 BCE to 250 CE. From 1000 BCE, the Maya began forming complex urban settlements with an elite class and entrenched religious practices. These settlements also featured ceremonial sites in the form of plazas and earthen mounds. Maya artwork during this period drew influence from the Olmecs. So their area of influence in 1000 BCE was all this. This part was added by 800 BCE, so they had the whole Yucatan to themselves. And you can see all the little pink dots here are ancient Maya sites, just all over the place. So many ancient sites we found. Let's read all the little things here before moving on to Northern America. Mesoamerica's ancient cultures. By 1000 BCE, much of Mesoamerica was inhabited by farming communities, which grew into cities through trading in essential and exotic goods. Over here, 1000 to 700 BCE, ceramics produced in Tlatelolco bear an Olmec influence. Down here, 1200 to 900 BCE, San Lorenzo is a major center for Olmec culture. There's Monte Alban, 300 BCE. Monte Alban is among the fastest growing cities of Mesoamerica, with a population of more than 5,000. And then in El Mirador, in 300 BCE, pre-classic Maya construct among the earliest giant pyramid temples, bearing large stucco masks depicting the deities of Maya mythology. So cool. And then let's go up north. Let's see what we've got on this map. We have the Adena culture from 1000 BCE to 400 CE. The Adena peoples became seasonal settlers in the Ohio River Valley once they introduced farming to their hunting and fishing lifestyle. Each social group comprised about 100 people, made up of between 4 and 6 clans. Using only digging sticks and baskets, the Adena created impressive earthworks, which were sacred ritual sites, or where the elites were buried. The Adena traded in raw materials such as barite. I don't know what barite is. Marine shells and copper, used to make tools and ornaments. So this is where the Adena culture thrived. And these are all mounds that they built for one purpose or another. One way up there. And then we have the Hopewell culture from 200 BCE to 500 CE. Can you see? Yeah, you can see. Okay. Most likely influenced by Adena, the Hopewell culture was made up of independent villages that shared a common culture based on their distinctively styled artifacts. Besides conical mounds, the Hopewells also built some of the most elaborate earthen architecture of the eastern woodlands, including platform mounds in Fort Ancient, Marksville, and Pinson, as well as effigy mounds, which were often shaped like an animal, such as a bear or a bird. Very cool. Look how much this culture spread down here by the Gulf of Mexico. all the way up this way, all around the lakes, then down here. And look at all these mounds here. There's a ton up here. And a lot of effigy sites up here. Then more mounds all the way down, like the Mississippi River Valley, pretty much. Really cool. It says the Mound Builders. The Adena and Hopewell, known as mound builders for their extensive earthworks, were the earliest of several cultures to emerge in North America from 1000 BCE. The giant mounds they constructed are thought to have served as ceremonial centers or burial sites for the society elites. So we've got on the map. Here's the Grave Creek Mound. From 250 to 150 BCE, Grave Creek Mound is among the largest conical-style burial mounds built by the Adena people. Over here in Renner. Hold on. My cough drop finished. From the year 1 to 500 CE. Mound site at Renner is inhabited by peoples of the Kansas City Hopewell culture. And down here in Marksville, around 400 BCE, burial mounds built at the Marksville site are surrounded by a horseshoe-shaped earthen embankment, about 2,985 feet long. And look at this figurine over here. Look at that. Like, the head is really beautiful, I think. Hopewell figurine. This clay figurine of a woman was found in Turner Mound near Cincinnati. Besides pottery for domestic use, it was common for the Hopewell culture to make pottery for ornamental and ceremonial purposes. And I think we're going to stop there for tonight, because then it's going to get into ancient Greece and like the Persian Empire toward the end of its life. So that's a whole saga in and of itself. So we're just going to stop there before we get too deep into that. This video ends up being 2 hours long. So thank you so much for watching. This one was a little bit more chaotic than usual. I apologize, but I hope you found this video relaxing and educational. If you found this video interesting, please consider subscribing, because this is going to be an ongoing series. I'm planning on doing a section of this book at least once a month. So be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out. And I hope that you have a very good